I've had many leading experts on this show, including Matthew Walker, and they've all said the same thing about sleep. They've said it's the biggest positive investment you can make in your own performance. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you're consistently tired, poor decision-making will follow and eventually cause other things to fail in your life. So if you're looking to optimize your recovery, you should start looking at what you're sleeping on. Our sponsor, Helix, makes high-quality mattresses tailored to your body. It doesn't matter if you run hot, sleep on your side, or need something firm. Helix has a mattress for you. And I asked them recently to send one to a member of my team, and Juan received it. And we travel a lot, so when he's home, quality sleep really matters. And he told me he's getting the best sleep of his life. And the data backs it up, with 82% of people in a Helix study saying they saw an increase in their deep sleep. And with a 120-night trial, you've got 4 months to prove it to yourself. You can get 27% off at helixsleep.com/diary. That's helixsleep.com/diary. I was reading about your story online before I came here, and I've watched a couple of videos and stuff. And I remember a day on this point of like resilience, which you touched on. I remember a day early on where I thought we were done because some shit had happened. We'd been hacked. All of our clients had been emailed this abusive, horrible, specific email, and I thought we were fucking done. And it was the day when we were on our way to our team building day. So everyone's on their way to like fucking paintballing or something. 6 a.m. in the morning, all of our clients like emailing me like abuse, like cancel everything. And having to turn the team around on a day which was meant to be happy and bring them all back to the office and say, listen, all your clients are gone. Maybe we're all gone. Was a tough day. There was dark days in your story.
Yeah. We had a few. Yeah, I mean, I don't find it the end of the world. Like I said, everyone's pretty understanding that we're going to take big risks. We've had like lots of issues. So when we were a small business, someone tried to steal our trademark and we had to spend every penny to get that back. We spent, again, every penny we had to get the domain name. There was a point where we genuinely couldn't afford stock, so I was like begging suppliers to get a stock in and we'll pay you once we'd sold it, sort of thing. But to me, that was sort of, that wasn't a huge issue. I found that pretty fun, actually.
The first issue, the first time you had something big happen like that, did it feel, I guess I know the answer to the question, but did it feel different when those issues happened today? And I'm trying to understand how resilience is created. And from my perspective, it's like you get past that first piece of bullshit. Right. And then bullshit piece number 2, you've got the hindsight of...
Yeah, there is that thing when you first start out and you think everyone's a really good person and everything's going to go okay. And then by the time you sort of, I guess while you're a few years in, you realise that nothing ever goes okay and there's always going to be people that want to knock you down a peg or two. So you just have to sort of be aware of that and just make sure that you're sort of bulletproof and everything that you're doing is for the right reasons.
What was the day where you thought, fuck, we're fucked? Was there a day? I read about a story on Black Friday where...
Oh, God, that was a fucking nightmare, that was. Yeah, Magento messed up, absolutely. The whole website crashed.
On Black Friday?
Yeah. On Black Friday, we were down for hours, literally completely messed up everything. Orders were coming in and the system was just like vomiting nothing out. Orders were delayed and the whole... Yeah, that was an absolute nightmare. But, and to me, that genuinely, there was no issues with me personally. I had no problems like with me dealing with that. The frustrating thing for me was that customers had come on, and obviously Black Friday there's tons of new people coming on and they wanted the kit and they couldn't get it and they were being messed around, and for me every single thing I took really personally, and it did really upset me. But we, from that, next Black Friday was the best Black Friday that we could ever imagine. Like because of that, I'm so well versed with making sure that nothing goes wrong going forward. And again, touch wood, hopefully nothing does go wrong, and at some point things probably will. But every time we do something big, every time we do a launch, a sale, a Black Friday, we've got plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Like we're making sure that, all possible issues are covered way before. And then I think that was just naivety. I think going into that Black Friday, we were very naive. We were a very young business and we just sort of assumed everything would be okay.
And in hindsight, I imagine that's been... Because for the same as when we got hacked, like, we didn't think about fucking cybersecurity until that day. And now we're like...
And it's a shame, but you do have to think about those things.
In a weird way, although it mightn't be the best use of word, has that been a bit of a blessing?
Yeah. There's tons of things like that, blessings in disguise, like you say. It's because however else would you learn? You just wouldn't learn those things. So I think everyone has to sort of encounter some sort of issues like that before they learn.
And I read that you sent out like thousands of handwritten letters.
Oh my God, my hand. Yeah. And then I was writing every single person that had an issue. I made sure I wrote them all birthday cards. So every week, at the start of the week, I'd have to sit there and write for hours. Like I'm talking like all day, birthday cards to every single person with a discount to make sure that, you know, we're sorry. Because again, I take it really personally. My hand would kill by the end of those days.
Isn't that part of the reason though why you going back to the start point about like authenticity and having these values and stuff like that? Isn't that on that day a lot of people would have been like, oh fuck, you literally on Black Friday, just to be clear, problem with your website, the website was down for 8 hours, people tried to order, they got messed around a little bit. Following that, you spent days writing thousands of handwritten letters to those people apologising.
All the staff here, because it was a much smaller team, were working like. There was one guy that did a 38-hour shift or something like that. Like the work ethic that I saw of everyone here was absolutely incredible. Like it was genuinely brilliant.
That's part of your values, though. That design, like most people wouldn't write fucking 2,000 handwritten letters. So that's, for me, that's also part of the reason you're here and why you're staying where you are is because you care. Like a lot of people will see it as a business or like the numbers, etc. But you're looking at it from a standpoint of what Gymshark's values are, right? Like,
I really care. Again, like if I get a DM on my Instagram, which I will, you know, inevitably we're shipping thousands and thousands of orders a day now. Inevitably something will go wrong somewhere, and someone will message me saying I've got an issue. That really hurts me. I go absolutely mental. And the first thing I'm doing is I'm running up to customer experience and saying, how the hell can we fix this? You know, how can we make this better? Because to me. And again, the problem with online is it's all numbers on a screen. It's very easy to get lost in those numbers, and it's very easy to become desensitized to the fact that each one of those numbers is a human being somewhere in the world. So to me, it's really important to make sure that everyone has a brilliant experience. And do you know what? Even if the other thing that I'll say to everyone is, even if no one ever buys a Gymshark product, I want to put on Gymshark events so that these people can go and be inspired and motivated, and, you know, in some way hopefully improve their lives. So if no one ever buys a Gymshark product, to me, that's not the end of the world, because I want people to be inspired and sort of be affected positively by what we do in some way.
And what I take from that is that authenticity and that really fucking caring over time will send your business in a completely different direction. Because if you imagine that care and that authenticity applied 10 times a day for 5 years on little touch points, that'll in my mind that completely changes the trajectory of your business. So in the moment those letters might not have moved the bottom line at all, but long term would make Gymshark who you are today. Which is really inspiring to me, actually, because I think customer experience is something that's often the first thing that's easy to forget.
Oh, if anyone gives me a bad customer experience, I just straight up don't ever order from them again, because I think it's just carelessness.